So Gary is in the streets of Philadelphia for the next 7 years preaching the word. And here's something else about this guy, Gary. He was no clean cut, nice looking white dude. He was very scrubby and dirty looking. He often wore the same clothes for days on end. People said that he smelled real foul. But while being all dirty like that and everything, he had plenty of money from black people donating to him. He also always collected a disability check from the military. So with all this money he had, he decided to get a Cadillac and a Rolls Royce. So he's riding around the streets of Philadelphia in a Cadillac and a Rolls Royce. So people, imagine that. Imagine how too many of our people think. You know what a lot of them are thinking? Oh, he must be somebody. So finally, Gary comes up with this clever idea that he wants to enslave 10 women and have a baby with each of them so he could create the perfect race. He believed that white and black people should mix and vice versa so we can get closer to the perfect race. That's what he believed. He thought that this is how I would improve society. So how is he going to get these women? He's going to kidnap them, doing what he does. Okay? So eventually, the first woman that he snatched up was a prostitute by the name of Josefina Rivera. I don't know if it's pronounced Josefina or Josefina. Get in the comments, let me know. Okay? He snatched her up when she was working as a prostitute, took her back to the house, choked her out, put her in handcuffs, dug a big hole in his basement under the concrete floor, chained her to a sewer pipe. He covered this hole with plywood and put filled plastic bags on top. That's what he did with her. That's his first one he got down there. After that, he would go on and do the same thing with Sandra Lindsay, 24, Lisa Thomas, 19, Deborah Dudley, 23, Jacqueline Askins, 18, and Agnes Adams, 24. Now, he knew one of these women, Sarah Lindsay, from the mental institution that he worked at as a nurse. He had R-worded her in the past, actually. When he worked there, he did this to her in the past, and he impregnated her, but she aborted the baby. He was very upset about that, so he decided, I'm gonna go back and get her, and that's what he did. The rest of these women, he either captured them as sex workers or he finessed them into getting into his, remember, he's got a Cadillac and a Rolls Royce, so he's out finessing women and everything, taking them shopping. He would take them to trips to AC, but they all ended up in his dungeon, naked, cold, and chained up, being tortured. Two of these women, one by the name of Sarah Lindsay and the other, Deborah Dudley, Gary killed both of them down there. He killed these two. Sarah Lindsay was hung by her wrist from a ceiling rafter for days, and she died from a combination of starvation, torture, and an untreated fever. Deborah Dudley died after Gary, or Brother Bishop, had Josefina Rivera use live wires to electrocute her while she was standing in a pit of water. After this woman, Sarah Lindsay, died, Gary Heidnik cooked her body and blended it with dog food and fed it to the other girls. Then he took the other one, Deborah Dudley, he took her body to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey and dumped her body. Gary's doing all of this downstairs while still having church service for 50 black members upstairs. Some people say that the members even knew that there were girls down there that he was holding, and they didn't even care. That's what some people say. He had all these women down there, and the way he did it is he chained them together with enough space so that they can move around, okay? So although they were chained, he kept enough space so they can get up and move around a little, so he would go down there, torture them, rape them, punish them, and then keep it moving. They said that everybody had a chain that was separated by like 30 paces apart, and it was big enough where he can get between each of them and have sex with them, and the women could walk around. Now this dude had a schizoid personality disorder, and it was out of control. So he was convinced that these women were plotting to kill him and escape. It became too much for him. He went even more nuts. So he comes up with a new plan to keep these women in line. So what he did was got some sharp instruments and started stabbing them all in the ears to make them deaf. He believed that if they couldn't hear anything, they wouldn't hear him coming, so they wouldn't misbehave. And if they disobeyed him, he would go get the remains of the one woman that he killed, Sandy, that he was keeping in the fridge. Remember, part of her, he grinded her up with dog food, but he still had some more left of her. So he would go get her body and show it to him as a threat. Now, what eventually happened was he already killed 2 of these young black women, but one of them, the one that he treated the best, she had the most privilege. Her name was Josefina Rivera. Again, the first woman that he captured, spent the most time with her or knowing her. She kind of gained his trust, okay? So one day he told her to go upstairs and get changed into some clothes. That was her first time wearing clothes in over 4 months. So what they did is over the next couple weeks, he took her out on shopping trips. They went to restaurants, things like that. She convinced him that she wouldn't run away or whatever. So they're out having a blast, riding around. She eventually caught a break, went to a payphone, called the police. She called the police. They went to the house, and the rest is history. Now this dude, Gary Heidnik, he was eventually charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and multiple counts of kidnapping, torture. He was convicted and he was given a death sentence in the year of 1988. He became the last person to be executed in the state of Pennsylvania after dying by lethal injection. Easy.